haven't made one in quite some time. I seem to never film my repairs, but anyway, we have a 2008 Audi TT 3.2 Quattro blower motor here, and I don't know how common this is. Maybe it's common, maybe it isn't. Mine sticks. Often I put it away for storage. This happened the first time I had the car away for storage. The person who stored it, stuff happened, debris fell down inside the car and came down in here. Plug these fins up. That's a common thing that'll happen. But this car, is it's a 2008. It's getting old now, so now it likes to stick after prolonged periods of rain. Interestingly enough, so I came up with a fix that I have to do maybe once a year. I really don't feel like paying for a new motor. I think they're, last I checked, over $400 now. So anyway, for who's interested, there's my part number. Made in the good old Czech Republic. It's been working great, but here's the issue. I noticed one time I pulled this out, and you'll see these scuff marks here. This was, I think the motor mount, it shook. We have extremely bad roads here in the Northeast, and it shook at full chat, as the English would say, and actually melted part of the housing that this plugs up into. I'm not going to go into how to take this in and out. It's very simple. Drop the glove box, you're done. It'll melt part of the housing right here onto the fins. Excuse my shadow here. And it'll actually protrude and then make this more prone to sticking. I'm not gonna go over this. Like I hit it with sandpaper. I scraped some of the chunks off with a razor blade, but you'll see it's pretty reasonable now, right? Like to me, that's pretty reasonable. There's no extra material here. It's not the most aerodynamic thing in the world, but it's fine. But here is the culprit. If you can see in here, I'm gonna point to it with my tool, which I'll share in a minute. Ooh, apologies for that. Right in here, right, that bearing here, whatever's actually in there, a bearing, what have you, is totally rusted out. Totally rusted. So what I do is I get this stuff here. This is my favorite. Apologies again for the makeshift workbench, but Deep Creep. There's a channel out there that reviews penetrating oil. This came out basically on top, so that's why I got it. Credit to the guy, I forget whoever that is. And then also, I guess is the some kind of a heat sink, perhaps. I don't think this is a rheostat, but it might be. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit with this deoxit. Again, it's not really necessary, but down underneath the glove box, you'll get a lot of water intrusion. I noticed pulling this out, it had water like running on the cables. I might have some kind of a drainage issue. I think it's a known thing with the TT. But anyway, nobody talks about these. You want to get a new one, have at it. But when I pulled this out, I could just barely turn it with my fingers, just barely moving it. But now it spins, relatively freely. But what I've been doing over the last like 20 minutes or so, I've just been spraying down in this bearing, letting it soak, down in here. You'll see, I'll do one for demo here. It'll soak, I don't know if you can see clearly, but I'll just do a little squirt. It'll kind of balloon out the top, right? Follow that up with a rag, but a lot of it will pool inside the bearing just from the chemical bonds. It wants to pull itself downhill. It will pull a lot of its own material down in there. Just give it a second, let it all soak down. Follow it up with a rag, which I'm going to do here. Again, if you have some water issues, again, I'm not the scientist here. I don't know exactly what function this is, but it looks like a rheostat or something to do with temperature, dissipation. This looks like a heat sink. I'm gonna clean some of the scale off. But anyway, a couple shots of this, work it around on your lunch break. That's exactly what I'm doing here, to tell a secret. But anyway, This will get it back in shape. If you don't like the odor from the deep creep, just wipe it down extra diligently, and then shoot some, you know, Febreze or something inside the air vent when you have the blender door open, and you're good to go. That's pretty much it. So summertime, I don't know, there's a lot of boat stuff going on. I did a lot of maintenance, but you know, inboard boats, if you want to see anything, just comment. Other than that, have a good one.